there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today we are going to have a bit of a different type of video. First of all, I want to apologize for the lack of upload yesterday. I do promise to keep daily uploads going, but I was very focused on my preparation for the Twitch Rivals tournament. And because of this, I just kind of did not have time to get a proper video going out, and I had to sacrifice the daily upload for my preparation, which I ultimately, do not regret, as I, like I said, have a pretty interesting video for you guys. I'm going to be talking about my lineup for the Twitch Rivals Legends of Runeterra tournament that happened yesterday. I did live stream this event, and I'm very happy with my preparation. Ultimately, I'm not very happy at all with the results, but the conclusion that I reached early on, as I was done with the event, is that ultimately everything that went wrong was out of my control, right? So things that I could take away from the tournament were my preparation and my plays, which I'm overall very happy with regarding both. And I'm very excited to share my lineup with you guys and the thought process behind it and all that good stuff. In case you guys are wondering about the actual results, I basically was the winner of the lower bracket. So that means that in the Swiss phase, I was not able to qualify for the upper bracket. There were two different brackets at the end of the tournament, the upper bracket and the lower bracket, and both were top 8 single elimination, right? And yeah, I won the lower bracket, but did not qualify for the upper bracket. And the reason why I didn't qualify for the upper bracket has been the source of a little bit of drama. And yeah, I'm not sure, like, recording this video, I wasn't really sure how to address this because it's a delicate subject, unfortunately, really. Shit happens, right? But everybody got pretty riled up about this. I got very emotional about it. You guys are going to see in the gameplay, how it affected me, and I will clarify a little bit why I felt the way I felt. But ultimately, I just want to say, like, for those of you who watch the event and know what I'm talking about, don't really, like, go out against Swim, like, ultimately, it wasn't his fault. It was a fault of the rules. Even though there are certain things that happened during our game that did upset me a little bit, like, I'm not gonna lie. There are certain parts, that I just, I'll explain properly. Regardless, we're gonna talk about my lineup first, and I'm gonna explain, why I chose the decks that I chose, and all this, like, what the game plan was. Like, I'm actually very proud of this strategy. I spent a few days, and it's been a while since I, went from my, like, just making daily decks to have fun with, to, like, actually go try hard competitive mode and try to predict what people will bring and counter that, right? And that's what we did right here. We, ladies and gentlemen, have a lineup that is soft teched against Burn and hard teched against Karina Control. We have a lineup that is meant to ensure that Karina Control does not get a win against us, but in case we don't face Karina Control and we run into something like Burn, we also have a really good matchup against that. What I mean by soft tech is that I don't go all in on one specific archetype. Instead, I design a lineup that is just well favored in specific matchups, but they're more broad, right? So I'm more flexible and I can adapt to more unpredictable lineups as well. This is my lineup right here. We got Impetuous Fish, Easy Peasy, and Immortal Fiora, which is the spicy one of the bunch. But let's start off with Impetuous Fish. This is a deck that I showcased in the most recent video. It is my boy Impetuous Panda's Sea Monsters Nautilus deck, which I tweaked a little bit for this tournament. Big shout outs to Impetuous Panda, by the way. He helped me prepare a bunch for this tournament. He was my sparring partner, and he also gave me some very, very neat ideas. Not only did I get to use his Sea Monsters deck, but he was also the one who came up with the idea for the Fiora deck that I later built on down the line as well. So shout outs to my boy. Really helped me out, and just was great prepping with him. And I would love to, if we both ever compete in the future, I think we'd make a pretty damn good team. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but regardless, this lineup, this deck is the shit. This deck is meant to really shine in a tournament, especially because we're aiming to ban the Ionia deck, because according to the rules, basically it was a conquest best of 3 format, in which each player presents 3 decks. Now, there is a region clause, which means you cannot have 2 decks with the same region. And every deck has to have 2 regions in them, which is a pretty minor and weird rule. Because it's fine to have a mono region deck anyways, but you know, in this particular tournament, you have to bring like 2 regions for each, right? So, in our case, we brought, you know, Bilgewater and Shadow Isles together in one, Ionia and Piltover, and then Demacia and Freljord. We can't have like Ionia in 2 different decks, and you know, you get the gist of it, right? So because there is a ban, every time we face somebody, both players ban one of the opposing deck, I had a strategy of always banning the Ionia list for my opponent. And by doing this, I really enhanced the matchup of Nautilus. Nautilus really hates Will of Ionia specifically. So I designed a lineup that would really shine in an Ionia-less environment. And Nautilus Sea Monsters has a tremendous presence in this tournament because he has a good matchup against what I expect to be a very popular choice, which would be Karina Control, because players would want to counter potential burn decks, right? So not only do I beat Karina Control, I also beat the other very likely variant of Piltover and Zon, which is Burn. I have a great matchup against that because I'm also packing Shadow Isles health gain base removal. And this deck, you know, I did a full deck tech on it in the prior video, so you guys can check that one out. It's called Nautilus Goes Deep. And, you know, I go into detail with the deck, but overall, super happy with this build. Early on, it just crushed it. And then later down the line, in the top 8, it got banned every time. So I stopped being able to play it, right? People did not want to face it anymore. But shout outs to Panda for this fantastic deck. And if you guys want a good ladder deck as well, then just play this bad boy. You will not regret it. Then, onto the second deck, I went with a pretty degenerate top tier build, which is Karma Ezreal. You guys probably haven't seen me play this much because I like to play other stuff, right? Like I like to build, you know, new decks, but I can try hard too. I can play, you know, top tier decks as well, and I wanted to bring this because I felt this was really strong. Unlike Heimer Vi, which I feel has a bit of a 50-50 matchup against Karina Control, really. I think Karma Ezreal definitely has a big matchup advantage over it, as they can't really do much to stop the crazy late game burst and the power of just Karma outvaluing everything they throw at us. We also have teched in a bunch of health gain, as we are specifically designed to take on burn better, with triple health potion that we can dig through with deep meditation, and a full set of Eye of the Dragon with a bit of Claws of the Dragon support. We have good early game pressure, and this is actually not the list, sorry, this is not exactly correct. I tweaked this at the very end. Yeah, I gotta modify this real quick. Yeah, it's a couple of chump wumps here instead. Yeah. Now it's the deck. So I have 1 jury rig, 3 health potions. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, this deck put in the work in the top 8 portion of the bracket. When people started banning my Nautilus, I showcased some Karma Ezreal degeneracy, and it was really strong for me as well. And then last but not least, certainly not least, we have my unyielding Fiora. You know, by my honor, you must die. This is the spicy creation that came to be. Panda had an idea. He said, well, because we were talking about the Demacia deck, and I'm like, I don't want to bring Demacia banner, man. It's too predictable, it's too linear, and it just doesn't do anything special, and I feel like I'm just going to be running into mirrors with it. I want to do something else. And Panda said, what about some sort of like crazy Fiora spell-driven deck since you're banning Ionia? And I'm like, and then the light bulb just went up, and I'm like, oh, I like that idea. So I just spent the entire night designing this from the ground up, and I could not be happier, man. This is a pretty disgusting deck if you think about it, but mainly because if I don't have to worry about Will of Ionia, I can go all in with a Fiora control strategy, which is what this basically is. We're running Demacia and Freljord together to combine Fiora alongside cards like Icevale Archer and Fury of the North with buffs like Standalone into Unyielding Spirit. The idea is we give Fiora Unyielding Spirit, and then we win with her passive ability. We have Radiant Guardian as well, alongside the Kindly Tavern Keeper to enhance our matchup against Burn. And the way we enable Radiant Guardian on turn 5 or 6, depending when it is our time to attack, if we win first or second that match, the way we enable her to attack that turn is through Blinding Assault. We carry over 2 spell mana, alright, on turn 5. we play Blinding Assault, we summon Valor, we attack and challenge him. So we basically kamikaze him into an opposing unit, trade favorably into it, like for example a 3-2. And after he dies, we get our attack token back because we attack with a scout, and we enable Radiant Guardian to not only come down on turn 5, but also get an attack off that turn as well. So that is the reasoning behind Blinding Assault in this deck, and it actually works out perfectly. Like it does, like this does happen a lot. I had so many games against Burn as I was playtesting this, and this would just happen so often. It was great. We have FIFA Attacker. I call him Bird. We have Bird to give us a little bit of early game presence against aggro. Not really that relevant of a card in other matchups, but it's there to give us, you know, like early game board presence, and then we just dive into something to enable the standalone onto Fiora later down the line. And yeah, we have a one-off of Judgment because people see Judgment in my deck and they have to consider it and play around it, respect it, even though some players didn't. Spoiler alert. And that is the deck list right there. This deck is meant to counter Karina control, and it did a fantastic job at that. And that's why I'm uploading the game that I'm uploading today. I was a little bit conflicted because of the drama behind it, but I really do believe that it was a quality series showcasing the logic behind my lineup against a very experienced player who also put a lot of thought behind his lineup as well in Swim. You guys know Swim. I felt like that was a good series to lead off with because like I said, it really shows the logic behind my lineup, and it was a very experienced opponent as well. Like I said, there's a bit of drama because basically you'll see what I'm talking about, how the match ended. I'll have a bit of an outro after the game itself to like explain a little bit why I felt the way that I felt, and to clarify a few things as well. Regardless, hope you guys enjoy the games. Hope you guys like this lineup. Today's deck tech was a little bit longer than usual, but I was going over 3 different decks and my reasoning behind it. I'm very proud with this. Like I said, I used the reasoning that basically I expected people to be playing a lot of Karma Lux potentially. So Karma Lux would free up the Piltover slot for either Career Control or Burn. And if they didn't bring Karma Lux, they could still bring Burn with They Who Endure, for example, and then a Demacia deck or something else. So I went through all the potential lineups, and this is the one that made the most sense to me to counter them. And for the most part, it did, as we ended up with a 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw record. And well, in my eyes, that draw is a bit of a moral victory. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the games, and that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. I bring you a new deck every single day. And if you guys want, I can upload my match against Kripparrian later down the line. Let me know in the comments down below. It was a pretty spicy one. So yeah, love ya. Have a great one. I'll see you around. I will keep 1 Withering Whale. Maybe even 2. No, I'll keep 1. Because I also want to be able to toss, right? Not really cards that I like seeing dropped out, but especially like the Miscall. Probably has like a Thermal Beam. Yeah, he may just have a Thermal Beam here. So you have turn 2 Elise. Nope. Trying to feel my sea monsters here, but I'm gonna block this skitter. He definitely has a removal for this, but he has to go for it anyways. Like, it's a 2-for-1 trade for me, so that's a good way to start things. Really wish I had play you.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
There's my atrocity as well, which is pretty concerning. I'm gonna drop Nautilus. He has like 3 answers for Nautilus in his deck. 2 Vengeance and 1 Ruination.
Piltover Enforcer on the scene.
I'm drawing very poorly though. Like I'm taking a very I'm tossing at a very low pace. Like I've only picked up 2 Dredgers and a Thorny Toad. Like no Maokai, no Salvage, no Jettison. So this is I can't really play any of these deep units. I just kind of have to pass here and hope that I draw something relevant.
Blood and guts, golden glory.
Not the one that I wanted. Man, I'm drawing really bad. Like we're fucking. I may just have to Grasp of the Undying my own Toad here. I can't really play Abyssal Eye because he has like a billion things that kill it. He has Gotcha, Grasp of the Undying, Get Excited. He has too many things that kill it. So I have to wait until I go deep. But the fact that I'm just top decking really bad. It sucks because it's such a good matchup for me, but so that's 1 Vengeance.
Set the hook.
Do I attack here? To weaken this, drop it down to 2 so that it's at reach from Grasp of the Undying. I think I do, right? I'm definitely gonna Ruination here to deal with this.
Lady Elise, where are you?
Yeah, definitely like Ruination here.
Enforcer down.
Alright, that's a Yedison. Good, good, good. Swim takes his time. Nothing against that, you know, it's a tournament, right? But I'm a little bit concerned that we may go overtime. I'm gonna go for the Vile Feast here.
Jean will be mine. Behold my masterwork.
So that's the Mystic Shot, and I get excited, okay. Commander Ladros, the Glimpse Beyond, an Elise, and they get excited, okay. Means you can still have another Vengeance, you can still have Ruination.
Vi stands for vicious. Be gone.
I'm not gonna play Maokai into Ruination. Maokai is like an alternate win condition here. That's weird.
Corruption everywhere. Eat the trash! And so grow tall, grow strong. And so life springs anew.
Jaw Hunters is really powerful now. We have like 4 cards left in our deck, but we're fine. We have Nautilus.
Fresh is worth at least twice as much.
Now we can go in because he's already played his Ruination.
There's nothing to fear.
Here's a big one. Nothing gets golden glory. Fell into him. Set the hooks. Better than eating.
You can't play this guy, so... Alright, there you are. And salt! Alright, the big boy's in. We go for this guy. He's already played 2 Vengeance and 1 Runation, which means he has no more answers for these big dudes, and yeah. I mean, he's got 2 cards left. So he's literally... I mean, I don't even know why I'm attacking here. Just need to pass, and he mills himself. Alright. Alright.
The waters cannot be sated.
Okay. So now it's all about Fiora. Alright, there she is. The problem is if I play Fiora now with standalone, he could just single combat me. So I can't do that. There you are.
A chill in the air. All right, let's mess some folks up. My arrow won't miss. Dash at him.
Okay, now I got this. Now I got the elixir of iron.
For justice, for Demacia.
Alright, so we beat single combat because we have this plus this.
I long for a worthy opponent. I long for a worthy opponent.
It's the one problem is the one detain. The one detain this man has. I am telegraphing it here.
Let them eat so. Try me.
The problem is a detain.
A true Freljordian welcome. Lead our charge.
Demacia, now and forever.
Welcome to the tipsy hour.
Don't hold back!
I've carved meat bigger than you.
Only he has a one-off of Ranger's Resolve. Do we play around that? I'm gonna go for it, I think. Because if he does have Ranger's Resolve,
I long for a worthy opponent.
because this could be huge.
This will be quick.
So much for your justice.
Come back next time.
For the honor of House Laurent. Try me. Too easy.
In a long path to get here.
I should have taken this down, by the way. I should have taken this down. I made a mistake. I should have taken this bird down. I made a misplay. Not the 4-2, the bird. GG.
This will be quick.
Got it. I think I choked. I think I choked. Did I choke? Would it have made a difference? If it was a 4-2, yeah, I should have taken down the bird. Not killing down the challenger was a huge mistake. I also could have preserved Purify for later as well. I made a misplay. I'm going to do a relatively aggressive mulligan for Fiora, but I am going to keep the Unyielding Spirit because it is the way I win this game. Yeah, I think I threw there by not hitting the bird. He would have had one challenger less, which means I would have been able to block that. And I'm not sure if it ended up mattering though, because he had a very big hit on me. And the problem is, if I didn't purify that Cythria, I would not have been able to single combat to kill it. I don't need, like, Fiora is not as immediately necessary here. I just need a target for... Okay, let me just pass here.
There's nothing to fear.
He probably has a thermal beam. It's good to know.
What's that noise?
Weak-willed fool. One girl wrecking crew.
They would fall by my blade.
Stay away from my pets.
No.
Strike quickly, try me.
This is why I designed this deck.
Wishful spider.
I must end this madness before I lose myself. Let the dead rest.
Okay, so I'm at 10. He has the ability to ping me. But he's already used one Mystic Shot, so right now he could still have lethal in hand. But there's not much I can do about that.
Headed in. Trouble coming at ya.
Such unrefined style.
Justice will be served!
Let them eat swords. En garde.
Jean will be mine. Each petal crafted with care.
Wait, what? What just happened? No, no, are you serious? What just happened? Are you kidding me? I had lethal. Wait, what? Okay, okay, oh shit, okay, I'm back. Okay, so if I do this, he needs another. My game is not working for some weird reason. Why did it crash like that? I mean, I don't have lethal this turn. I miss out on 1 mana. But come on, man. I'm literally there. Dude, you gotta be kidding me. This game is mine. I'm sorry, Swim Man, but you roped the shit out of me, dude. God damn, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, he can effectively stall is the thing, right? Like, he can stall. Like, he can stall. He can just kill his own shit. And he can effectively just sit around while I slowly poke at him, right? Like, in this current case, like, he can't really... Like, I can try to sell comment, but there's no way that he doesn't have another answer here. You know, like, I just... Okay. Like, this game is over. Come on, this game is over. He can't win. He drops Commander Ladros. I have health gain every turn. I have, like, he can't win. He actually can't win. That's so frustrating. And then I actually have the lethal here. Holy shit. I actually have the lethal here. I'm pissed. I'm pissed about this. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Because this game was over. But obviously, if he's playing a deck that can stall, then obviously he can stall a shitload of time. I feel like I got stalled out, man. And that's... I can't do anything about it, because there's like... You know, you can rope to the very end every turn, right? So it's out of my control. I'm not gonna lie, I'm frustrated. Fucking hell, man. Oh, whatever. I'm sorry if I'm coming off like a little bit. GG's, man. I'm sorry for my attitude. I just it's hard. It's hard to not be upset. Hello there. Time for a little bit of damage control. I don't generally do these sort of outros in my videos, but I do feel like it's important to clarify a few things. You know, both in my defense and in Swim's defense as well. Like, I want to start things off by saying that a lot of drama has stemmed off of this, and it's just, at the end of the day, we're just two dudes playing in a tournament, and there's a series of rules, and we went overtime, and that's basically what happened. I can't be, you know, I feel I have a right to be frustrated. I had a right to be angry at that point of the match. I feel like it's part of being human, right? And I did have my legitimate reasons, in my opinion, but I also don't want to point finger at Swim and be like, okay, this is your fault, you're the cause of this, because that's not true. Like I said, it was the time limit definitely was a big issue, especially for players like him who take their time every single turn and really think about all the potential possible plays. I mean, we all do that, right? But some of us do it at a certain pace. I believe somebody like Swim really likes to try to think ahead and really takes his time to consider all the potential you know, variables, and he goes really deep in that stuff, right? So he takes his time, and yeah, this is like I said, this is a bit of an awkward video for me to upload, because I think it was a really good series. Like, when it comes to the game itself, like the quality of the games, I think they were pretty good, especially like showcasing what my lineup was all about. But obviously this whole issue stemmed from it. So first of all, I want to clarify for those of you who felt, because there are quite a few who see this and think, well, you're being toxic, Mogwai, you're overreacting, you're complaining about a rule and this and that, and you have every right to believe that. But I'm going to justify myself in what I felt here. The reason why I was frustrated mainly was because we all knew beforehand that there was a low time limit, right? 50 minutes is really low. There had already been problems, especially with Swim, in tournaments with 1 hour time limits. So 50 minutes was really going to prove to be an issue for anybody who queued into him, at least in my opinion. So knowing this, because we knew this time limit was going to be a thing, I feel like just for, you know, I was frustrated because there were certain points in the match in which he was taking unnecessary time, and you know, it was truly unnecessary, because at the end of the first series, when I dropped Maokai and I mill him down to 4, he acknowledges it's pretty much game. He still banks on the very small hope of him drawing a Commander Ladros and perhaps drawing into another source of damage, and maybe me not having anything to stop an attack from it. Like I said, that's gonna happen like pretty much never, because I have 4 cards left in my own deck and a Nautilus, and I'm gonna be able to have blockers. But he's not going to give out quite yet, and I can respect that, right? He wants to play it out and see if there's any sort of possibility, right? And this is fine. But when the game reached a point in which he literally drew his last card in his deck, which happened to be a Withering Whale, I believe. He had a Withering Whale and a Thermogenic Beam. 2 cards in hand. No cards in the deck, no cards in the board. Literally 2 cards left to play in the game, both of them damage-based spells. He has no way of winning. He will lose at the beginning of the next turn when he draws a card, because he can't draw anymore. The game is over. He still took, and I counted, 22 seconds to play Thermogenic Beam. When he could have just forfeited and, you know, prevented a little bit of time from going by. I don't believe Swim did this on purpose, all right? I want to clarify this. I don't think he did this on purpose. I think Swim was just thinking about the next games to come. He was making use of that time right there to just think about how he was going to plan out the remaining matchups, as he had to win with both of his decks against my Fiora list, right? So he was probably thinking ahead a little bit, and he got kind of like got a little bit, he dwelled a little bit on that, right? And because of this, I feel like the first series was unnecessarily dragged out, and this caused for the third game to go to time. If the first series would have gone faster, because including these last portions of the match, I do believe we would have been fine, right? This is why I was frustrated. I was beginning to get frustrated, even though I wasn't vocally saying it. I was beginning to get frustrated at this point, because I knew how little time we had, and you know, it wasn't looking good. The fact that we took that long in the first game, right? Then the third game happened, and yeah, basically I put him in a position. I had him on a Fiora lockdown. At a certain point in the match, when you know, they declared it a draw, the game was technically over. There was no line of play from Swim that would save him from that situation, because I had a single combat in hand, and afterwards I drew into an Entreat, which led to a Fiora converting into a Riposte. This means that the moment he commits to dropping a Commander Ladros, I can riposte into single combat, kill off the Ladros, and win. If he stalls out and waits to build up some damage and tries to wait out that way, I can beat him down every turn with my Radiant Guardian and my Fiora, while also gaining life. So I either slowly kill him with direct damage or direct hits, or he plays units and I kill him. He can stall by playing units and try to chump block and kill them, but eventually he's gonna, by doing that, he's gonna run out of gas very fast, right? So there's just no, unless I do something really stupid, which, you know, I was making sure I wasn't, like I was playing it very safe. That game, he was in lockdown. Fiora locked him down. The game was over, right? If a judge could come and say this game is done. But I didn't get that victory, because he had a deck that could very effectively stall for a while, and that's what I was referring to. I'm not saying he was inherently like stalling on purpose, but the deck allowed him to stall, and thus I couldn't really get the lethal earlier officially. So this is what really upset me, right? These are the things that made me so frustrated. But like I said, at the end of the day, Swim didn't do anything technically wrong, and it was the fault of the system and the rule itself. That's what people should be frustrated at, including myself, right? And I want to clarify this, because the guy has been going through a lot, and he hasn't taken well like all the there's a lot of people who have been very aggressive, right? It's very hard to control your audience when it reaches a certain point, and everybody's an individual, and I can't be everybody's dad and be like, you know, no, don't go crazy on him. And unfortunately that's what happened, so I wanted to clarify things, right? But I also don't want to be dishonest about it. I was frustrated. I gave you my reasonings, and ultimately it is what it is, because this did cost me money. I wanted to be in the top 8 bracket. I wanted to fight for the $20,000, right? And I feel like I had a very good lineup, especially considering that the winner of the tournament had a Karina control deck in their lineup, right? So it was frustrating for me. Regardless, it happened. It is what it is, and you know, we can just bury it and move on. I still feel like this series was really cool because it really showcased my lineup against a more experienced lineup, and I felt it was worth posting because of that. So sorry for the unnecessary drama. Hope you guys enjoyed the games regardless. Hope you guys enjoyed my explanation for my tournament lineup. Like I said, I put a lot of thought into it, and I know a good portion of you will like this sort of content if you're looking to compete in tournaments in the future. Know that there's always room for creativity, and that's always something that I will strive on as a competitor myself. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, no, make love, not war, or whatever the term is. I'll see you guys tomorrow.